Framingham Public Schools is partnering with Parent Square to communicate and engage with our FPS community. Download the app in either the App Store or Google Play Store through the QR codes on the screen or with the links in our show notes. Stay involved with your students' learning activities at school from anywhere. So, hey, Bob Tremblay back again on the Bobcast. Glad to have in the studio today my guest, Mark Goldschmidt. Mark Goldschmidt's at the high school, Framingham High School, but there's so much more to Mark Goldschmidt, right? We've had some great conversations. You've inspired me on more than a few occasions since I had a chance to know you. So tell us who you are. We know you're Mark Goldschmidt. What does that mean?
Well, after that introduction, I can only possibly be disappointing. So I am the coordinator and the teacher for the Resiliency for Life program at Framingham High School. And I think a lot of people around the community may have heard of RFL, but we essentially support about 50 students at the high school in grades 9 through 12. And typically they're struggling academically because they're struggling emotionally. So over the last, I've been there for about 17 or 18 years in the program. Prior to that, I taught English at Marlboro High School for 12 years and then FHS for 3. And then I shifted over to this.
Wow. And I've seen your work. I've seen you at the high school. We've had a lot of conversations over the years together. And you really bring something very special to our school district. So thank you for all that you do every day. You also bring, although you don't have Nala with you today, you also bring a dog to work. Say a little bit about that.
Well, I was able to get Nala in 2018. It was April vacation of 2018. She's a yellow lab, and she was trained at a program called NEADS, N-E-A-D-S. So if people are interested, needs.org. They're based in Princeton, Mass, near Mount Wachusett, and they train dogs for many different purposes. Most of the ones they do are for people who have disabilities, veterans that have PTSD, children on the autism spectrum, things like that. But they also train dogs for school settings as emotional support dogs. So Nala's been an incredible, I think, addition to the fabric of Framingham High School. And there were many expectations I had. I knew she was going to be good for the students in our program because we work with a lot of students with anxiety, clinical anxiety and depression and trauma and things like that. And she's been remarkable. I mean, some of the kids only come to school because they can sit with her to start their day and kind of ease in and whatever. We take walks with her and students and things like that. There have been so many unexpected benefits. I forgot, but our teachers are under a lot of stress, work stress and family stress and things like that. So a lot of our faculty members drop in to see her too. And sometimes I've learned to read their faces, and sometimes they're having a struggle, or sometimes they're just walking by and want to see her.
Yeah, of course.
Very rarely do they want to just see me. So, but yeah, Nala's been a huge gift to our school, and definitely to my family. She's great for my kids and my wife and me. So,
Mark, what was a profound moment you had with Nala, like where you saw an impactful difference, say, with a student in some kind of distress, or a staff member, or something you can reflect upon?
Well, we had a student last year that had undergone some really tough trauma. When she was in elementary school in her country of origin, there was a teacher, sort of like a substitute teacher in the building that just was very kind of like explosive, I guess. I don't know. I guess they didn't go through much vetting or training or whatever. And so this girl really struggled to come to school, and the mother didn't really know what was going on. And and her mother also had some medical issues, so the girl was really afraid to leave her home. And so last year when the student was with us as a 9th grader, Nala was part of how we coaxed her in most days.
I mean, that's what you do. That's the nature of the work you do every day, and you bring that in. But yet you have this great composure yourself. You're always in a good spirit. You're always thinking of others. That's not a skill that everybody brings. I think that's what's so inspiring, right? When I talk to you, is about you, that gift that you bring. And so you turned me on a while back to Steve Gilbert, and Win Your Day is what he was, right? It was Win Your Day?
Yes.
And now I'm on this, receiving that. So shout out to Steve if he's listening. But this daily message, which some, are parables or things that kind of resonate more than others. But how did you get into this sort of mindset of being happy, focusing on others? You always have that smile. I don't know how you do it. So tell us about, what's the secret?
Well, I call it my sort of happiness journey. It really started in my budding friendship, I guess you could say, with Steve Gilbert. Started with my cousin. I'm lucky. I have my cousin's son plays for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's a very, very good baseball player, Paul Goldschmidt. And 2 years ago, he won the National League Most Valuable Player. He's an amazing baseball player. But when I get together with Paul, which unfortunately is not often, he lives far away, we don't talk about baseball. We talk about our families and we talk about self-improvement. He's very big on any mental advantage he could get to continue to be a good baseball player, because the game changes very quickly. And he's trying to hit a 98 mile an hour fastball or a 89 mile an hour slider or whatever. So any little advantage that he can get, he's trying to do that. So he's big on the mental aspect of the game. He knows it's a difference maker. So he and I were at a memorial service for my uncle, who was his grandfather, and we were sort of standing in the corner talking, and he said, we were talking about books and sharing, have you read this? He said, have you read this book, The Happiness Advantage, by Sean Achor? And I said, no. And he said, I actually happen to have my copy of the book here, borrow it and just send it back to me. And that was the difference maker. Sean Achor, the idea of the happiness advantage, and he looked at it from a different angle as a baseball player, that advantage. I looked at it as a teacher who works with struggling students. But the premise is that most of us think that as long as we work really hard and find success, then we can get to be happy at the end. But what research shows, according to Achor, who's a psychologist, and many other researchers, is that actually if we're happy, we're much more likely to be successful. So the formula is flipped. So when I read this book, that made all the sense in the world. And I said to myself, well, if that's true and I believe it, what do I do? What can I do to be happier?
But you have life troubles. Everyone has challenges, things that face you every day. And, to the naysayer out there, well, how do you expect me to be happy? I have life coming at me. And yeah, of course I want to be successful, but I got to be happy first. But I have too much coming on my mind right now to really be in that mental space. So how do you overcome that mindset?
I'll tell you I'm an open book. I don't keep anything a secret. So when, we're going to get into this, but I do these presentations for our teaching staff and our,
they love it, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
We'll talk more about the demand that's increased, but keep going.
So when we did our PD last March, and I did two back in a part one and a part two presentation on the PD day, I told people what I've been going through over the last 2 years. So 2 years ago, August 2022, my father-in-law gets hospitalized for liver failure, basically. And from August to the day he died in January of 2023 was so stressful. My wife would, I'd be in front of a class full of kids or, girl having a panic attack or whatever. My wife's calling me, how do I sign up for family medical leave? How do we hire an agency to come in and take care of my dad? He needs around-the-clock care. It was so stressful trying to be a teacher and a father of two daughters and a husband to take some of that off her plate, and a son-in-law that's literally lifting my father-in-law. He was like dead weight, like lifting him from the bed onto a commode and like wiping his butt. I mean, honestly, I'm a very raw, real person. And then in the midst of that, my own mother has dementia. So we're going through that. And then this past December, my father was diagnosed with bladder cancer. So I am not, I have had a blessed life, and I acknowledge I have the best job in the world. For me, at least, I feel so privileged to be able to work with these amazing students that I get to work with every day and every year. But I do have stress in my life. So what I've learned through reading books, through taking a course on happiness, a Yale University course, through watching videos and TED Talks, and now people come to me because they know I'm into this stuff, and I'll get into that in a second. Someone gave me this thing that you're going to love in a second.
Let's go see the happy guy.
Yeah,
how does he do it?
Yeah.
Right?
So So what do I do? There are two ways I look at it. There's proactive things that I can do to be happier, and there are reactive things that I can do to be happier, right?
Say more about that.
Yeah, so if I'm a teacher, if I'm a parent, which I am, if I'm a son-in-law with my father-in-law literally, failing, medically.
Right,
and health,
yeah, sure.
there are a list of things that I can do. And the beauty is they're all free. Free. They don't cost you a thing. So number one, we hear this word a lot. And I want to kind of give some examples, but gratitude, having an attitude of gratitude. Yeah. Oh, so every day when I wake up, and I'll give you like a concrete way to do this if you choose. Every morning when I wake up, I sit up on the side of my bed, put my feet on the floor, and I think of at least 3 things I'm grateful for that day. Some of them repeat. A lot of them have to do with my children. I'm so grateful for my kids. I'm grateful my kids have nice friends or things like that. But a lot of times it has to do with my work. I'm so grateful that I get to work with this kid today, or that I saw this kid start to buy into a process and what we're trying to, help them with, and so forth.
So every day you start with these 3 gratitudes.
Three things I'm grateful for.
Almost a meditative kind of approach to starting your day, right? So you're not starting your day by looking at your cell phone and looking at your email to see, right?
No.
You're not starting there.
It's starting at that positive place is so uplifting. I think it starts to release those good chemicals in my brain every morning and get me going. And it's gotten to the point now, I found when I first started committing to that, sometimes it was hard to think of 3 things. Now it's as I'm sitting up, but like the list is already forming in my head as I'm literally sitting up in bed. So the more we do it, the easier it is.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So that's a proactive measure. You've offered some professional development in the district as well, taking this sort of happiness journey and sharing it with your colleagues. And I know we have every year there's the teacher-led professional development day, and you started this session, and it's grown. Say a little bit about what you offer in that session, and why do people attend?
I guess I started doing it about 4 or 5 years ago, and I think my first group was maybe 12 people, and then the next year was about 20, and then maybe 40, and I think a year and a half ago it was maybe 70. I was like, wow. And then this past year in March of 2024, I started seeing the enrollment, and I said to Everton, I think you have to put me in a bigger space, because I don't ever want to shut people out. If they want to hear this stuff, why would we say no? So last year he put me in the auditorium, and I did a part 1 and a part 2. So I did like a 2-hour session in the morning and 2 at the end of the day. And
what do you call this? What's the title of your session?
Well, I call it the Happiness Advantage, based on Sean Acor's book or something along those lines. Or I've lately come to think of it as burnout prevention. When we came back to school during COVID and after, it's been a tough adjustment for our students, our faculty. The stamina that students have is depleted. We're seeing a big difference. Sometimes behavior has, those issues have sort of spiked. So I'm trying to give people some proactive strategies they can do. So when they walk in the morning, I call it our line. We're always in relation to a line that's sort of like, you could think of it as our breaking point, or our point of either exploding or imploding, not being able to function. So where are we this morning or right now in relation to that line? So when we can do proactive things, even if usually I feel really good in the morning, I'm energized and I slept pretty well, well enough, I still do deep breathing on my way to school. I still do those 3 things I'm grateful for. So even if I'm a little bit elevated, I'm bringing myself further from that line. So if I'm a teacher and I have a bad interaction in the hallway, or a student, kind of explodes or implodes in class or whatever, I'm not anywhere near that line, so I can function. I can function as a teacher, as a parent.
It requires a lot of intention, though.
It does.
So you might actually have a bad day, though, right?
Oh,
when you're not always happy.
When you said earlier that it's clear that I'm always, sometimes I do fake it till I make it.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I've been going through those health crises of my wife's parents and mine, 100%. I put on a fake smile sometimes in the morning, but the fake smile turns into a real one.
Sure.
I mean, It really does.
We're going to go to a game in a minute.
Okay.
I know you like to play a game, right? Who doesn't like to play games?
I'm a little competitive.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to be competing with you.
Okay.
But it's going to be fun. We're going to have a couple of laughs, I bet,
okay,
when we do it. But is there a favorite quote, inspiration? I know there's some books you talked about. Is there something that centers you, like some you come back to this?
I'm a big quotes person, and I'm a big mantra person.
Okay.
I'm a runner.
What's your hashtag? Mark Goldschmidt hashtag.
Hashtag challenge accepted.
Challenge
That's
accepted.
my mantra.
Okay.
So when I'm running and the wind's blowing in my face, or I'm about to run up Heartbreak Hill or something like that, challenge accepted. When a student is rude to me in the hallway, challenge accepted. I'm going to make that kid like me. It's not going to be today, but over time, I'm going to wear him down, and I'm going to challenge accepted, right?
I love that.
Yeah. So there's this, actually, Steve Gilbert, who we both appreciate. I got to have lunch with him recently.
You did?
And he was talking about this podcast by another guy. I don't remember his name, but the idea is what is real and what's just a feeling or an idea inside your head. So the only things that are real are the things that are right in front of you right now. So I need to learn more about this. I want to hear this person's full podcast and kind of see how they dive down deeply into it. But I love that idea. So I started out the school year with my students. I teach an RFL seminar course. And we started off the year, I listed a whole bunch of things on the board: tired, angry, hungry, sprained ankle, migraine headache. And we made we had 2 columns. Which of these things are real and which of these are just feelings? And which of these things, like I'm tired, I'm hungry, or I'm bored. Which of these things makes us want to leave a class or want to be late to a class or something like that? But with some grit, we can resist it. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now here are some reminders from the Framingham Public Schools. For high school students, Tuesday, January 21st through Friday, January 24th, you'll be participating in midterms. These will be early release days. Thursday, January 23rd is an early release day for elementary and middle school students for parent conferences. On January 28th and January 29th, middle school students will be participating in access testing. For those students not taking the test, there will be a delayed start. Be sure to check your email for more information. Thursday, January 30th and Thursday, February 6th are both early release days for elementary, middle, and high school students for parent conferences. Wednesday, February 12th is a collaboration day for Framingham High School. Lunch will be served to students before they're released at 1 p.m. Monday, February 17th, all schools will be closed to observe President's Day. Starting on February 18th through February 21st, all schools will be closed for February recess. We hope you all enjoy the extended time off with family and friends. When you drive your car, when you're doing things, do you listen to music or is it music off?
No music. Well, on the way to school, I've decided a couple of years ago, I listened to sports talk. I like sports.
Okay.
So I was listening to sports talk radio, commercial. Flip to the other channel, commercial. Back to the first one, commercial. And I actually felt my heart start to palpitate. And I said, I'm not in control here. This is weird, So I said, I think I need to experiment with silence. And so if I'm going on a long trip, I put on my Pandora and I listen to my music and whatever. But on my way to work, I choose silence. On the way home, I let myself listen to sports talk radio or whatever.
I mean, we could go on and on. Mm-hmm. It's pretty deep conversation, but you bring a lot to the and I'm glad you shared all those strategies with us. We're going to play a game now. And this is it's a yay or nay game, so you just get to react, and then you get to give us a little bit of explanation if you feel so inclined. You don't have to.
Okay.
But I'm going to say some things that may resonate with you, and then you're going to tell me about your reaction, yay or nay. You ready? You ready to go?
Bring it on. I'm
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Hashtag challenge accepted. All right, here we go. So yay or nay, New Year's resolutions.
Oh, I am so nay on New Year's. I talk
Why
about
are
this
you
with
nay? Everybody makes a resolution on New Year's.
I do not. I think that goals are wonderful. I'm a big goals person. I think that the problem with New Year's resolutions is in order to achieve something, we have to have action steps. So if I just say on New Year's, this is my year to run the marathon, or this is my year to lose weight, or this is my year to take a college course or something like that, that's great. But I think the problem with New Year's resolutions is most people leave it there. and they forget in order to achieve a goal, there are some things I need to do. So sometimes we talk about SMART goals. They have to be specific and measurable and achievable. And
You must be great at a New Year's Eve party. Hey, everybody, get your SMART goals out.
Yeah, get out your
okay.
whiteboards. Let's goal action steps. That's not specific
It's
enough.
not time bound.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
It's not time. Yeah.
Well, listen, I appreciate your honesty. It's
Okay.
a good, but
That's
so
a biggie for me.
So that's a big nay.
That's a hot button one for me.
Big nay. Okay. Outside, I know you're going to go with this answer, but outside activities in the snow.
Oh, we're a ski family. My wife sleeps with the curtains. If it's going to snow, the windows cracked open, and I get into it too. So if we've taken walks at 1:00 in the morning in the snow on a weeknight,
Really?
Oh yeah. We ski, at this little place, Pat's Peak in New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, I know it.
Oh, I love the quiet of the snow.
You just need that snow day cancellation from the superintendent to give you the freedom to go do.
Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about that because I'm big on my June. I love days off in June. So I try to I try not to be instant gratification. It always feels good to hear your message, or Mariah's message or whoever.
Yeah, right.
But but the snow itself, I'm all in.
All right. What about snow? Are you making snow angels?
And by the way, Nala, big snow fan.
I bet.
Oh yeah, she burrows. She burrows in the snow.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Baseball.
Well, if my cousin had become a professional soccer player or, I don't know, curling or something like that at the Olympics, we would have been thrilled. But I grew up in a baseball family. So my dad's idol was Ted Williams. We're big Red Sox people. And one of the coolest sort of side benefits of my cousin's career has been it's brought our family from Texas, Florida, Massachusetts, it's brought us all closer. So just the word baseball reminds me of family. And so it's bigger than just the game for me.
So a yay for baseball.
Yay for baseball.
Yay for baseball. Going back to the snow, outside of the snow, how about hot chocolate? Yay or nay hot chocolate?
I'm probably yay.
You didn't have the reaction I thought you were going to have.
I'm probably yay. It has these connotations. First of all, it fills me up. So I'm like a half a cup and I'll feel great with some marshmallows or fluff on top.
The cup is half full.
But what I associate sometimes with hot chocolate is my daughter at a restaurant, we go out for breakfast a lot and the heap of whipped cream on top so she chugs that and then she can't eat her meal.
Oh, so it's upsetting to you because you've wasted money on the hot chocolate.
Yeah, it's not even the money. I want my kid to eat the eggs or whatever. So yeah, I mean,
all right.
I'm mostly pro hot chocolate.
Mostly yay.
Yeah, mostly yay.
Yay-ish.
Yay-ish.
Yay-ish. Okay. Midterm exams.
Oh, see,
people might judge you for this answer.
That's okay. They'll judge me about a lot of things.
Sure, man. Believe me, singing to the choir.
Yes, I know you. Yes. I think I'm yay on mid-year exams and final exams because I think our job as a school is to prepare our students for whatever they choose to do next. So if it's career, then we should prepare them for career. Military, college, right? So I know that when I went to college, some of my courses, 40% of my grade was the final exam or things like that. So I feel, just my one person's opinion, do I love exams? Do I feel like I have a terrible memory? So for me, cumulative knowledge is a struggle. So there's a part of me that says it's not great, but if we're really preparing students for what they're doing next, I think we have to go for it.
All right, good. Well, moving away from academics for a minute, this is one I have a very strong opinion on.
Okay.
You may or may not agree with it. I would say nay to this. Pineapples on pizza.
Oh, I'm a big yay. We thrive on Hawaiian pizza in my house. I never thought, when I first heard the concept, I said I was going to hate it, but
really?
We're huge Hawaiian pizza people.
Oh, all right. Eggnog.
Oh,
yay or nay?
Big yay.
Big yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
I have a funny story about eggnog I'm going to share with you. So I went to, I can't remember how many years ago it was. It was Christmas Eve. It was with my family. We had gone to Christmas Eve mass, and we wanted to have eggnog on our, at the house. Stopped at a gas station, went inside, And the guy's like, "Oh, it's Christmas Eve. You can, Merry Christmas, have this eggnog." It was like, I was so excited. I came to my car, I said, "You won't believe it. I got free eggnog at the gas station." And then I put my car, which I thought was in reverse to move, but it was in neutral, and I rolled into a concrete block, and it caused several $1,000s of damage. So interesting little unexpected surprise on that day, but I'll never forget it. But nevertheless, eggnog is still a favorite. Movies, just generally movies that escape from reality. Yay or nay to movies?
Yay to movies. I love documentaries. Yeah, but I love movies. In my house, my two daughters, especially my older daughter, she loves her a good rom-com. So I end up.
What's your favorite genre of movie? Do you also like a good rom-com?
Oh, I like probably action movies. I'm old school. I like Raider. I grew up with Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars and all those things. So I like a good action adventure movie.
All right, we're going to come to our last question on this yay or nay game. You did a great job, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, 100% on this midterm exam of yours.
Oh.
Here's the last question. Yay or nay, cats?
Oh, I'm yay on cats.
You are?
Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously yay on Nala and dogs.
Yeah, I had
but yay on cats, too.
I adopted my cousin's cat, who then went to my uncle, who moved to Florida after my aunt passed away, and so I adopted Blackstone. Blackstone was a great cat.
A great name for a cat, too.
I didn't choose it. I think my cousin did.
And we're sorry Nala can't be here today, so Nala sends her best.
Oh, sure.
And really, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here, having this conversation that you and I have, and we'll probably have more of these either on podcasts or certainly in the spaces when we interact together. It's always so uplifting, always so inspiring. I always learn something from you each time. I've had a chance to be at the Resiliency for Life banquets each year, end of the year celebrations, to see that great growth over time. You do tremendous work, Mark. We're so grateful for your decades of service to the city of Framingham, for our kids, for our families. And just thanks for taking some time to share your insights on a little bit more about the work you do, but also on the way you approach life. I think we can all take a lot of lessons from the conversation today. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Thank you very much for joining us for the Bobcast episode. Again, each time we do one of these episodes, we get a little better. Certainly I get better with practice. My guests seem to do an amazing job every time they come on the show. So thanks for watching. This is really an opportunity for us to engage our community together as partners in education with our educators, our amazing educators, and the Framingham community. Maybe things you didn't know about what our great educators bring to the table each day in their daily work and in their daily lives. So hopefully it's enlightening. Hopefully it's inspiring to you as it is to me. Thanks for watching the Bobcast, and we'll see you next time.